The limitations for using BigQuery table in the raw form are as follows. You see, the way the structure of this data set is set up, right, is that you got these as the main fields, and beneath them, it's a JSON architecture, so beneath them, event parameters has key value pairs, and key with a string value, key with the int value, key with a float, and key with a double value. Now, just pay attention right now to string and int, and I'll show you what I mean here. So, int value, GA session number, this is the first session of that user, right? And the string value for this first visit event is that they landed here, okay? The page location is the key, that's the value. So each event will have multiple key value pairs. So how do you sort of like make them into an Excel format? That's hard sometimes, but in this particular case, I found somewhere, and I'll try to put a link to that person's blog post too, because they have a nice way of flattening this up, and I took inspiration from that. And what I have here is a flat view of this structure. So these event parameters and their values, either string or int, okay, are flattened out. And the way you will see them is when I show you a flat table plan, if you will, and I just query it, you'll see the difference. Select star, and I'll just run it with star. So here you go. Now you see the event. Now you see the session. Now you see multiple values, okay? You'll see multiple values for, each event in arrayed like this, okay? So those values that were actually the session start event was looking, uh, with an event parameter and a string value to that parameter. Now you see page location showing up as page, session number, engagement, and so on. The data would be the same as this, yeah? I'm looking at two different date ranges, so it isn't the same here, but in any case, it'd be the same, except these values will become columns, yeah? And that's what you need to do, because if you were to build a data studio report right from here, then you'll have a problem trying to put, say, page location and say session ID as dimensions. So for example, page location and page refer, you want to know where this particular user came from. Now you can't put it in the same table, same table chart, not table here, but in the same table chart in Google Data Studio, okay? To do that, you use this flat table plan, okay? And here you have it. I'll put together a blog post around that so I can show you the actual query that you have got to use. It actually makes it much simpler, yeah? Makes it all Excelized and so on. The only caveat here is that this flat table plan, okay, is, if I look at the details here, it's expensive to run, okay? So I'm using an unnest function here to get all these values, and you can do more. If you have custom dimensions set up, you just have to add them in the select statement, okay, and in the group by too. So yeah, so this is going to get a little expensive. So what I would say is that instead of like hard coding this, you would do something like previous 90 days, right? Or previous 180 days if you have a small data set. If you have a very large data set, I don't know how Google Cloud creates, because this is a view, right? So I wonder how much it is indexed. I don't think so. Okay, so that's the caveat. I haven't explored that yet. So what I know, going back again, is if you use this table in its raw form, you won't get these values as columns, you'll get them as rows for each event. If you want to make them as columns, you create a flat table plan using this sort of thing here, using unnest functions, and you get this kind of look, okay? Which is arguably easier to query from Google Data Studio, and you'll get these as dimensions, and you can put them together. So page and say page refer. So now you know where this person came from for a particular session, right? And you can see the values kind of stay until you go to the next next user and so on. So anyways, that's the story about how to query Google Data, with Google Data Studio, how to go about querying the BigQuery database using a flattened table format. Thank you.